Welcome to r/relationship advice. Here's today's story. 34-year-old female says, my 37-year-old husband got an STD while cheating, slipped me half of his antibiotics for it, and fessed up to everything later. I'm divorcing him, but I'm not sure if I should let him maintain a relationship with our children. 5-year-old female, 7-year-old male. Sorry for the huge mouthful of a title. I'll try to keep this complicated situation as shortly as possible. In early April, my husband started making me smoothies every day after work. I felt this was incredibly odd, because he has never cooked anything for me, but he called it a new hobby, and so I thought little of it. After a couple of days of this, when I wasn't in the mood for one of his creations, he started to become very insistent that I drink it. This set off alarms in my head, which made my aversion to his creations worse. That night I prepared a vegan curry for dinner. Knowing something was up, I pretended I was going to the bathroom, sneaked out, and looked into the dining room from the patio outside. From there I caught my husband red-handed putting something into my bowl and mixing it. I thought he was trying to roofie me, which would have been weird as I never deny him sex. But when confronted he finally told me that it was a crushed up antibiotic for gonorrhea. He had gotten gonorrhea from a sex worker and realized he may have infected me with it, so he started slipping me half of his medicine just in case. I have tried to work through it with him with marriage counseling, but it's just impossible. He is incredibly apologetic, with frequent sobbing breakdowns, and doing everything he can to salvage our relationship, but I can't even stand the sight of the man. He repulses me on such a visceral level that the mere thought of staying married to him for even a day longer turns my stomach. I told him a week ago that I was filing for divorce. The situation right now is that, because of what he did, I can easily get full custody. He knows this for obvious reasons. I'm fairly sure it's a felony to give people drugs against their will. But he is begging and pleading for me to let him have a life with his children. I'm so torn on this, with pressure from his family, who don't know what he did, to stay together and our children. He is a good dad. I believe that. But I don't think I could trust him with the 2 children I'm supposed to love and protect the most. Could anyone here who has experience in this sort of thing, although I don't think anyone here has been fed STD medication against their will, shine a light on it? For what it matters, I have tested negative for all STDs and we have not slept together a single time since I caught him. Here's the first comment. Did you see a doctor? Half a course of antibiotics can end up just making the sexually transmitted infection stronger. You need to ensure your health. Here's the next comment. Glad you're not allergic to Rocephin, or it could have really gone south really quick. Your friendly neighborhood ER nurse. Here's the next comment. You are doing the right things as far as the relationship is concerned. You even tried to hold it together after such an affront. However, you should not punish the kids for his mistake. Unless he will cause harm to the kids with physical/verbal/emotional abuse. Here's the next comment. Geez, he could have killed his wife by dosing her with antibiotics that weren't prescribed for her, proving himself to be a danger to others, and possibly have some sort of mental health issue. Mentally stable people don't do what he did, and yet all anyone cares about is that he gets 50-50 custody. Here's the next comment. Lady, for the sake of your health and all that, divorce is the best option. Let his family know what he did. I'd rather you let the truth out than give him time to switch the story up. Here's the next comment. I'm sorry for everything you've been through. Therapy would be advisable. I know what he did is horrible, but cutting off their relationship with the kids in the long run could hurt their kids. Here's the next comment. I read this post differently than most of these other responses, I think. I see your concern here, that he would have the kind of judgment to think it's okay to put drugs in someone's food without their knowledge. Would he do this to your children? I don't know him, and I can't begin to guess where his boundaries lie, but it seems like this could go either way. He may be a kind, wonderful and engaged father, but can you trust him not to make really weird and unsafe decisions for your children's health? I imagine the safety of your children is the thing you're most concerned about, rather than the actual cheating. Maybe continue talking to a therapist. There must be someone who could advise you on that front. A mediator? Here's the next comment. I don't understand people saying, yeah, he's a bad husband, but is he a good parent? He's a bad person in general. He violated your trust and committed a felony. I would not trust him to take care of your kids. What happens if they get sick or have an accident? Would he tell you the truth? Would you believe him? I definitely talk to a therapist about this and get their professional opinion. Here's the next comment. You can't withhold the children from him. Please get an attorney right away. Alienation is actually a legally punishable offense, and this could blow up in your face. I know he committed the ultimate offense against you, but he's still their dad, and a good one at that, according to you. Bad choices and all. The court is the only entity that has the power to determine his fitness as a father, not as a husband. Trust me, I'm just getting out of it too. I'll see your husband's failures and raise you my ex-husband's, my forever STD, his 2 drug busts, my house raided, meth whores, stolen car, gang members showing up at my home, high-speed chase, and attempted murder on a cop. I don't drink and never even smoked Mary Jane, by the way, so this was not a shared lifestyle or anything I ever knew or accepted. They granted my unemployed, couch surfing felon ex-husband visitation, so please brace yourself. Here's the next comment. If you don't want to deal with custody court, I suggest you let him see his kids. The courts do not agree with alienating children from their fathers over your personal issues with them. My friend got exactly 50-50 custody cause the mom wouldn't let him see his kids over some hearsay. And saying, oh, he cheated on me and gave me an STD will never hold up as a reason to keep the father from their child. I'm sorry, this is just pure selfishness. Here's the next comment. Oh, this happened to me with my ex putting meds for gonorrhea in my margarita. Hey, that rhymes. But really, it pissed me off knowing that he couldn't tell the truth then and chose to lie. If he wasn't caught, he wouldn't think anything of it. The question is, would someone that would do these bad things be an example of a good father/person? Would you want your kids growing up to be like him? Here's the next comment. Cheating aside, being unprotected was completely unnecessary with her, and then with you, endangered you, and the pill crushing without your knowledge or consent deeply concerns me. Even when he knew you were sick, and he didn't tell you. I wouldn't trust my kids with him, because I wouldn't trust that he would tell me if something bad happened, or act responsibly in a medical emergency. My dad was terribly irresponsible, and I'm telling you, we had to lie to our mum so much, and it wasn't just dangerous, it was bad for us mentally too. Please seek legal advice immediately. Does he have a relative you trust, maybe one of the grandparents? I'd maybe let him have them under supervision, but even that doesn't feel right considering the lengths he's gone to protect himself, at the cost of your family and health. My friend got HIV from a cheating partner. If you haven't already, please see your doctor and get a full sexually transmitted infection screen. I'm so sorry for what you're going through. I'd be heartbroken and furious. Here's the next comment. Collect all proof of this tragic event you can. Texts, doctor's notes, etc. and bring it to a lawyer and talk to them about it. He lied and drugged her. He's not trustworthy, and he put his own best interests above his family's, above her health and safety. This is a good reason to contemplate if the kids are safe around him. I feel like people are missing that. Here's the next comment. This guy literally put her health at stake twice. Once by possibly giving her an STD, and twice by drugging her against her will with a medication that could make the STD more resistant. Because that's what happens when you don't take the antibiotics as prescribed. And you all think he should still have rights to his children. What is wrong with people? Here's the next comment. I divorced my daughter's father when she was 4. On a couple of occasions, when she was a year old, I said no to sex, and he responded by trying to hold me down. The minute I started pushing him off of me he stopped, and that was the end of it. When I left him a few years later, those incidents did go through my mind briefly. But he was, as far as I could tell, a good father. Maybe not the most responsible, but he really doted on her, and was very vocally opposed to physical punishments. He got remarried when she was around 8, and I was, and still am friends with his second wife. He took our daughter to her Girl Scout meetings, made cardboard box forts with her, talked to her often, when she was at my house. Once in a while he tried to swing his wanker around with me, and attempt to keep her during my time for whatever reason he thought was justified, but he always backed down, when I stood my ground. We still all spent time together as a family, and got along most of the time. When my daughter was 16, she told me that her dad had raped her repeatedly, since she was 8. She still loved him, and didn't want him to get in trouble, but she was having serious mental health issues because of it, and knew that she would need to come clean to get help. She agreed to report it to the police though, because of her baby sister. Ultimately the state made an airtight case against him with my daughter's assistance, and he pled guilty. I've thought a lot since then about the what ifs. Even if I had tried for full custody, it seems pretty unlikely they would not have given him visitation at the very least. My word against his about something that had happened 3 years prior, and he had stopped when I pushed him off me. I thought about what would have happened if I'd done anything and everything to keep him away from her, including just freaking disappearing. In all likelihood she'd have resented me for it. Maybe even if I told her about what he did, she'd have seen it as not that big of a deal, just like I had at the time. But he wouldn't have raped her 4 years at least. I don't think there is any way to win here. You are very right to be worried, and my guess is that you have seen other reasons to be, even if you don't recognize them yet. Here's the next comment. First of all, you need to tell his family everything he did. Secondly, do you have any sense of what and how long this was going on? Did he F a hooker once on a business trip or all the time? I wouldn't feel comfortable having him spend extended time alone with the kids. I know hooker effers who literally leave their children unattended to do their dirty stuff with hookers. But maybe every other weekend? Or supervised? 100% tell his family. Here's the next comment. You cannot trust your children with a person who tried to give you drugs against your will. Supervised visits are all he deserves. If his family becomes too pushy, you must tell them the truth. If they still defend him blindly, block them. There is no need to be in touch with ex-in-laws. Here's the next comment. People saying has he fricked up in the 7 years of fathering blah blah. Even if he hasn't, he just fricked up in his, however many years, of being a husband. This shows he's capable of making the most horrible choices to cover his own butt. What if he gets custody, the kids get hurt, and he hides it? Is he capable of it? Absolutely. He has proven the lengths he's willing to go. But ultimately, it's going to be up to the judge. Original poster. You should tell the judge everything. Even if the kids don't end up being a key point, he might get a girlfriend one day, cheat on that girlfriend, and do the same stuff. The judge should know he's tried to drug someone. Who knows how far that can go if left unchecked. I wish for the best for you and yours. Original poster. And original poster soon to be ex-husband. Get some long-term therapy, dude. Here's the next comment. I'm so shocked by all the responses here. I mean, it's not only a cheating story. The guy did something illegal, disgusting and potentially dangerous. If he's been acting so immature, instead of owning up to his mistake, how could anyone think he's mature enough to take care of children? Also, from the children's perspective, it's tricky. I know I would be pissed as frick if I'd learn later in life that one of my parents had done such a despicable act. Of course, I guess they can't be told if they are too young. That's why it's a tricky problem. Not some kind of obvious solution like you all seem to imply. Can't believe so many of you are siding with the butthole here and trying to guilt trip a victim of cheating who had been drugged without her knowledge. Jeez. Thanks for watching.